Hello, this is Super Cool. Time for another Super Cool Reviews. Happy Halloween, people! Well, it's not technically Halloween yet, but time for another year of Cooloween! And this year, we're gonna start off this Cooloween's year. You're right, with the classic 1984 slasher movie, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Directed by the late Wes Craven. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. You should watch it. Really. I'm serious. Watch it. Watch it. I'm serious. And it turned out... Hey, what's the plot? The plot is that in the town of Springwood on a street called Elm Street, we follow Nancy Thompson with her three friends, Rod, Tina, and Glenn, played by Johnny Depp. And keep in mind, people, this is his first role ever in film. Anyway, when having a sleepover, Tina has a nightmare and she dies. And in the real world, when she sleeps, she actually dies. Rod is then blamed for her death and is arrested by Nancy's father, Arthur, played by John Saxon. But at the police station, Nancy said Tina dreamed that this was gonna happen to her. That she saw a scary man with razor-sharp razors on his fingers. And sure enough, Nancy has that same dream of the razor finger guy. And it turns out his name was Freddy Krueger, played famously by Robert Englund, who long ago her mother and all the parents of Elm Street got together and killed the fucker to a crisp when the course accidentally let him go because they forgot to sign some paper or whatever. So Nancy needs to stop Freddy before he kills all her other friends. And as long as she does one thing, don't fall asleep. What's good about this movie? Well, the originality. Most slasher movies, consist of a guy, stabby people, stabby stew, people having sex, stabby stew, some stuff, unlikable characters, stabby stew. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, it takes a different tone. Not from on the outside, like in the real world. It's in your mind. Sleep, it's a peaceful thing. We all do it after a long existing work, but what if sleep was bad? Like, what if sleep was basically like an enemy? Like they're the lion, they're the hunter, and we're the prey in our dreams. In fact, what's said is that Wes Craven said he bases around some articles saying that some immigrants died in their sleep after trying so hard to stay awake, and no one really knows the reason why. The characters, I like them. They're likable. And the performances, they're all good, like Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, and most famously, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. He continues to play Freddy all the way from this film to Freddy vs. Jason, and he does it well. What I like is that they have his face in shadow. Like, you don't know what he looks like, unlike in the previous movies where they just gave up and show what he looks like. I also like the tone. It's dark and actually scary, unlike the sequels where it's all goofy and lighthearted and you forgot the power glove and stuff. And his set ending is good. Like, the dreams sequences, like, it's mostly consists of a boiler room, like where in Friday the 13th, it's Camp Crystal Lake, where it's like Jason Voorhees, Camp Crystal Lake. For Michael Myers, I think it's the Myers house, but for Freddy, it's for a boiler room. Now, let's talk about the cons. There are a couple of them. One is the typical horror movie tropes, the parents not believing about the killer, and blah blah, some dark past, blah blah blah. The main character thinks she's insane, blah blah blah. He turns out she's not, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. And also the ending. Wes Craven said he had no intention of having a sequel whatsoever. And the original ending was supposed to be a school bus, drive off, and that's that. But if you watch the movie, seems like there was a sequel. And sequels there were. Too many, in fact. I'm gonna give Nightmare on Elm Street 60 boiler rooms out of 100. Now we're gonna talk about Elm Street 2. I'll wait till 1 year later. Or maybe I could just, since next year is gonna be the, 30th anniversary of it, 35, since this year marks the 35th anniversary of A Nightmare, 35th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Or I should do it sometime this month. Well, next week, it's close to the week of Friday the 13th. But next week, it's not going to be Friday the 13th. Now, you know what? Screw it. Next week, Friday the 13th part 2. My